Hello. The title of this video is A Simple Secular Explanation to Why There Must Be a Jewish State in the Land of Israel. And in order to be secular, I must respect international norms and avoid using religious proclamations. That does not mean I ignore the religiosity of human beings. Human beings make religious decisions. It is very common that someone will travel to visit or live in a religious place in order to foster better religious practice. If we look at the world's four largest religions, Christianity, Islam, Hinduism, and Buddhism, all of them has a sense of a holy place and pilgrimage. The most famous would probably be the Hajj of the Muslims, where they travel to Mecca. It would therefore make sense that Jews would want to live in the land of Israel. Furthermore, I will not use the Holocaust because I think it is irrelevant. Since the destruction of the Second Temple in 70 CE, and the defeat of the Bar Kokhba rebellion in 135 CE, Jews have longed to return to the land of Israel, where only a lucky few were able to suffer there under foreign rule between expulsions. Communities remained small during this time. Rabbi Moses Maimonides visited Israel in the year 1165, and Rabbi Moses Nachmanides arrived in 1267 and stayed until his death in 1270. In fact, this was quite common that people would travel to the land of Israel in their old age and die there, because it was considered holy to be buried in the land of Israel. At times, Jerusalem was famous for its elderly Jewish women who outlived their husbands, as most women do. The mid-1500s Jewish community included not only the famous rabbis Yosef Karo, Yitzhak Luria, and Chaim Vital, but also the leadership from emissaries of the Lady Gracia Mendes Nasi. The 1700s under Ottoman rule also had several small waves of immigration. The most famous was Rabbi Chaim ben Attar of Salem, Morocco, in 1741. From Europe, the two leading rabbis sent their students as well. In 1747 and 1777, the students of Rabbi Yisrael Baal Shem Tov formed communities in the land, and later in the 1700s, in the late 1700s, the Gaon Rabbi Eliyahu of Vilna also sent his students to the land of Israel. The modern Zionist movement truly began in 1881, from which the Jewish community grew from 28,000 to 650,000 in 1947. They bought land and built new towns. One of the interesting things that they did, which I might touch on in another video, is that they were able to settle lands that the local Muslims thought were inhospitable through infrastructure projects. For example, the modern Tel Aviv metropolitan area was settled by the Jewish community using precise irrigation techniques that allowed them to grow crops in places far from wells or springs. It was common for Muslim landlords to sell their land thinking it was worthless, and then see a Jewish town spring up using long-range water pipes. The most impressive of these projects was the 11-point project of 1946. Moshe Smilansky, the Israel Land Development Company, and the Jewish National Fund separately bought land at 11 points surrounding Beersheba in southern Israel. The area was considered a desert, but irrigated through a complex system of wells, pumps, and pipes. During the British Mandate period of 1917 through 1948, there were regular Muslim attacks against Jews, including the attacks of 1929, which destroyed the larger Jewish communities of Hebron, Gaza City, Nablus, Ramla, Jenin, and Akko, as well as many smaller ones. The Muslims committed other waves of violence in 1920 and between the years 1936 and to 1939. Often the weakest Jewish communities were burnt to the ground. By November 1947, a partition plan made sense. The British did not want to continue their mandate, and the large communities of Jews and Muslims needed to be separated. The UN recommended a two-state partition plan based on residence, with Jerusalem administered as an international city. The British planned on leaving in May of 1948, and battles between local Jewish and Muslim militias broke out in the months prior. A Jewish state was necessary to protect Jewish property. The final question one could ask is, why Jewish? Why should a nation have a religious identity? Let's take a look at the neighborhood. Jordan, Egypt, and Iraq all have a constitution that says that Islam is the state religion. Syria and Lebanon supposedly have religious freedom, but they've also had religious-based civil wars. In Saudi Arabia, the law book is simply Islamic law. In addition, there are numerous officially Christian states, including England, Greece, and formerly Spain and Italy. Note that in most of the nations mentioned, there are plenty of examples of religious tolerance. That's also the case in Israel as well. There you have it. Jews didn't need the Holocaust in order to be independent in our homeland. Laying down the facts on the ground was what made the Jewish state. Today, Israel is a nation of 7.2 million Jews and 2.6 million Gentiles. And even though the current war is difficult, I believe that Israel's best days are yet to come. Thank you.